What makes a James Bond theme a James Bond theme? Is it the tonality? The instrumentation? What is it about the 007 music that gives it the authority, the license to kill? Let's go undercover and take a listen, shall we? To take a close look at this collection of 6 decades worth of music, we have to turn to the original James Bond theme, written in 1962 by Monty Norman and originally arranged by John Barry. In this theme and arrangement, we hear some of the most iconic sounds of film and pop culture. Let's talk about instrumentation first, starting with the undeniable guitar riff, originally played by Vic Flick. And on top of that, most Bond music employs seductive, provocative brass elements. Okay, let's talk about tonality. I'd like to discuss a moment at the beginning of the 007 theme and a moment at the end of the theme. And I'd like to suggest that all compelling Bond music always draws from those two little sources of harmonic language. Not convinced? Let me explain. The opening theme, after the initial big staccato horn hits, is a 3-note motif that takes off from the 5th of the minor chord, chromatically rising 2 half steps and then back down. The other piece of language is at the very end of the arrangement, and that is the iconic guitar chord, a minor major 7th with a 9. This is undoubtedly the ultimate spy chord. So we have the 3-note motif, and we have the minor major 7 add 9 chord. And I'm here to detect them in all of the best Bond themes. Now, the original theme was used in the beginning of the first film, 1962's Dr.No, and the second film, From Russia with Love, played only an instrumental version of the theme in the opening. The first 007 film to feature its theme song with lyrics in the opening credits was Goldfinger.
Goldfinger.
This song set the standard for how powerful a 007 song could and should be. Shirley Bassey's vocal performance brought Bond music to a timeless new height, and this was just the beginning. Now, let's listen for those harmonic pieces that I had surmised were going to be there. After the first verse, the 3-note motif. And the whole arrangement is filled with colorful, deliberate brass. Goldfinger set the stage for all other Bond songs to be compared to. It's the gold standard. Now let's see how some of the others measured up. Immediately following Goldfinger, Tom Jones delivers a heavy vocal performance on Thunderball. The 3-note motif occurs in the first verse, similar to Goldfinger. Big staccato brass. Seems like this arrangement has maintained 00 status. Let's skip ahead to 1973. Paul McCartney's Live and Let Die, arranged by George Martin, has some Bond-esque qualities, such as big horn hits after the title. However, it definitely also skews in the musical direction of McCartney's pop sensibilities. I guess it's hard to take the Paul out of Paul, and it's noticeable when the Bond is taken out of Bond. Nonetheless, this is definitely a memorable arrangement, and its chase-like motif assured 007 fans that they'd be seeing many Roger Moore chase scenes throughout the 1970s. Most of the Bond films through the 70s featured more melodramatic ballad-type arrangements. And I say that because they abandoned some of these classic Bond music elements that we've discussed. These themes have remained partly unmemorable. 1985's A View to a Kill, performed by Duran Duran, is definitely a fun dance number, but still, not a Bond theme in the classic sense. Overall, the Roger Moore themes didn't exactly take us to an all-time high. Of the 2 Timothy Dalton films, one of the themes, a-ha's The Living Daylights, suffered from sounding way too much like the year it was produced, stripping it of any timeless quality. And the other, Gladys Knight's License to Kill, was a bit too on the nose to something we've already heard today. It's Goldfinger, exactly. So much so that writers ended up having to pay royalties to the Goldfinger writers. Sounds like the Midas touch was a bit heavy-handed. Let's move on to 1995. After the franchise took a few questionable twists and turns, including taking 007 into outer space, it revitalized its reputation with some return to form. And that was reflected right away in the theme song for GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, I found his weakness.
Tina Turner's performance is reminiscent of Shirley Bassey, seductive, bold, and irrefutable. We are hearing some more modern sounds in the horn arrangement, but still, those big horn hits bring us into the danger of 007's world. And then again, just like the older classic themes, that three-note motif lurks into the second verse.
See him move through smoke and mirrors, feel his presence.
GoldenEye set a new stage and reminded us why we love Bond music. Then the next few films followed suit. In the next 007 installment, Sheryl Crow's Tomorrow Never Dies gives us the goods right away, a haunting, descending motion in a minor key. We hear that tasty minor major 7 chord in the verse, and the featured note on the title lyric is that 9 on a minor chord. What do you know? And a bonus, Swagger reverb guitar is featured prominently in the tune. Nice throwback to the original Bond instrumentation. 2 years later, 1999, The World Is Not Enough follows a similar trajectory, and Garbage's Shirley Manson fires off a seductive performance that is right on target for the Bond franchise. Thematically, this arrangement sounds off all the 00 elements. Minor key, a tempting tempo, and once again, that minor 9 chord on the title. Followed by a descending guitar line. And in the outro, we have a hint of the 3-note motif, staccato horns, and closing it off with the minor major 7 add 9 chord. At this point in the franchise, we are musically steeped back into the memorable ingredients that make a Bond theme. That is until Madonna, which is why we're going to leave Die Another Day for another day. 4 years after the end of the Pierce Brosnan era, 007 returns in Casino Royale. Bond is now played by Daniel Craig. The first Bond theme of this modern era, Chris Cornell's You Know My Name, sets the tone for a powerful new series of characters and conflicts. And it starts off with big horns, pulsing strings, and distorted guitar. A new era has arrived, and the full orchestra is in on it. Now let's discuss the 3 chords in this chorus. B minor, G, and E. In the key of B minor, that's 1 minor, flat 6 major, and 4 major. Now the 3 notes that the vocal melody follows are F sharp, G, and G sharp. That right there is the 3-note motif. How clever to hide your impulses in plain sight. This speaks to the direction of our new Bond. In 2008, we hear a Bond-themed collaboration with Jack White and Alicia Keys' Another Way to Die for the film Quantum of Solace. This song opens up with an awesomely dirty guitar riff in pure Jack White fashion, and although it has White's fingerprints literally all over it, it really does sound like a modern, amped-up 007 guitar riff, almost like an extension of Vic Flick's original.
Another one with the golden tongue poison in your fantasy.
Also, the harmonic movement in the verses, same idea as we just discussed in You Know My Name. Although the melody doesn't outline the motif like Cornell did, the vibe and implication is totally there. Then we have classic 007 staccato horns. These 2 themes placed 007 in the current world. They encompass the vulnerability and the anxiety that personify Bond's invisible adversaries. And they lead us to the next James Bond theme, which is, in my opinion, the epitome of the modern Bond song. Skyfall, performed by Adele.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count.
This arrangement has it all. Class, mystery, seduction, a feeling of timelessness, brilliant vocal performance. It captures the classic elements and delivers them through a modern lens. The song starts with a summoning minor 9 chord, which brings us right into the verse progression and it is once again identical to the previous two themes: 1 minor, flat 6 major, 4 major, harmonically outlining the space to inevitably carry the 3-note motif. And it's coming, right where you want it, right where it was put in Goldfinger, right after the first chorus.
Skyfall is where we start.
Immediately following that move is the first lyric of the second verse. Skyfall is where we start. Everything about this tune is calling back to 007's roots. Skyfall drives us home all the way to the end with the minor 9 chord. The follow-up to Skyfall, Sam Smith's The Writing on the Wall, shows a sensitive note while still remaining within the Bond emotion. However, the brand new theme, Billie Eilish's No Time to Die, completely nails it, opening with ascending piano arpeggios that start from, you guessed it, 1 minor, flat 6 major, 4 major. Thank you, Billie. We love you. The 3-note motif prowls through the low end while Eilish's voice slithers through the melody.
I'd leave alone.
The world of this song is completely 007's world. Billie Eilish captures the harmony, the mystery, the seduction, all the way up to the last chord.
There's just no time to die.
The iconic minor major 7-9 chord, the original last chord of the first arrangement. I would say that brings us full circle. Isn't it a powerful thing we've uncovered here? Two pieces of simple musical language that have influenced decades of iconic 007 music, with a whole range of diverse artists from Shirley Bassey to Jack White, Tom Jones to Billie Eilish, expressing their interpretation of that language. What will Bond music sound like in 10 years, in 20 years? Only Her Majesty knows.